Have you ever watched a beloved houseplant just slowly waste away? You know, its leaves are turning yellow, they're dropping off, and this is despite you giving it what you thought was the absolutely perfect amount of love and water. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're opening the case file on a botanical true crime. And it's happening right under our noses. Actually, scratch that, it's happening right under our soil. We're investigating a devastating and frankly super misunderstood killer known as Rootrot. It's this silent assassin destroying millions of plants, from your little indoor tropicals to massive urban trees. But the real crime here, the true culprit, is almost never what you think it is.
Okay, let's dive into this, because we need to challenge the absolute biggest myth in the entire plant care world. If you've ever had a plant die on you, chances are someone told you, oh, you probably just overwatered it, right? We tend to treat water like it's a poison. We just assume that the physical volume of water is the sole killer. But guys, that is simply not true. Water is just an accomplice. It's an enabler. The actual cause of your plant's demise is something much more sinister and way more microscopic.
To solve this mystery, we first have to establish what the crime actually is. Root rot is a fatal plant disease where the structural foundations of your plant, the roots, literally decay and decompose while the plant is still alive. It's basically a two-part attack. First, the roots are deprived of vital oxygen, which causes them to suffocate and die. Second, that dead tissue becomes an all-you-can-eat buffet for microscopic, opportunistic pathogens that absolutely thrive in oxygen-depleted environments. It's an invisible enemy attacking entirely underground.
Section 1. The overwatering myth. And this brilliantly illustrates our crime scene. Why is the age-old advice of just water your plants less inherently flawed? Well, because overwatering isn't actually about the frequency or the amount of water you pour into the pot. It is entirely about what that water does to the environment surrounding the root zone and how long it stays there. Think of a really dense, heavy potting mix, like soil straight from your garden, stuffed into a pot without drainage holes. When you water that plant, the water has nowhere to go. It just lingers in the dirt like a bad smell in an elevator. It fills every single microscopic gap in the soil, completely pushing out all the vital oxygen your roots need to function. Without those air pockets, the roots essentially drown, suffocating in a stale, stagnant environment.
Section 2. The real silent killers. Once that oxygen is gone, the roots weaken and die. But, dead roots don't just turn into black mush all on their own. It's time to unmask the true villains of this botanical mystery. The real killers aren't the water droplets. They're living organisms waiting patiently in your soil. Let's look at the timeline of destruction here, because it happens shockingly fast. In severely waterlogged, compacted soil, a plant's roots can begin to suffocate and die within just 24 to 48 hours. By the end of week 1, that oxygen-depleted, anaerobic environment acts like an alarm clock for dormant fungal spores. They wake up and go right to work. And by week 3, widespread decay has set in and the roots are actively being digested.
Meet the microscopic opportunists: Pythium, Phytophthora, Rhizoctonia, and Fusarium. Now, you don't need to memorize their names, but you absolutely need to know their behavior. They lie dormant in almost all soil, acting like silent sleeper agents. The moment your plant's roots are weakened by a lack of oxygen, bam, they strike. They multiply rapidly in those wet anaerobic conditions, aggressively attacking the dying root tissue and turning it into this soft, slimy mush. Once they take hold, they can spread like wildfire to the remaining healthy roots.
Section 3. Spotting the symptoms.
So how do we catch this crime in progress before it's too late? Well, the tricky part is that the actual destruction is hidden beneath the soil, meaning we very often misinterpret the plant's cries for help. Above ground, the symptoms are incredibly misleading. You might see wilting, drooping leaves, and stunted growth. Logically, a wilting plant looks thirsty, right? But here, the leaves are wilting even though the soil is soaking wet. You'll also see older leaves yellowing and dropping off, and sometimes the stems near the soil line become soft and mushy. But because these symptoms totally mimic underwatering or even a nutrient deficiency, the only definitive proof of this crime is found by inspecting the root system directly.
Here is your mental cheat sheet to diagnose your own plants. If you gently unpot your plant, healthy roots should be firm, springy, and generally white, cream, or a light tan. They smell good, like fresh, earthy rain. Rotting roots, however, completely different story. They are dark brown or jet black. They feel super slimy to the touch. In fact, if you give them a gentle tug, the outer mushy layer will easily slide right off, leaving behind this thin, pathetic, stringy core. And the smell? It's distinctively foul, literally like a stagnant swamp, mildew, or rotten eggs, which is caused by the anaerobic bacteria.
Section 4. The underwatering plot twist. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the plot twist.
Just when you think you've figured out how to avoid this whole mess by barely watering at all, surprise! Chronic underwatering can be just as dangerous. When you let soil dry out completely and stay dry for way too long, the soil becomes hydrophobic, meaning it literally repels water. Below the surface, the delicate roots begin to dehydrate, shrivel, and die back, becoming brittle like little hollow straws. They completely lose their natural defenses. Then, when you finally notice and give the plant a massive deep soak, the water just pools around these dead, defenseless roots. You've instantly created a stagnant swamp. And those opportunistic fungal pathogens we talked about, they immediately flood in to devour the dead tissue. The plant swung from a drought straight to a swamp, creating the absolute perfect storm for root rot.
Section 5. The Root Rescue Mission.
Look, discovering root rot isn't necessarily an automatic death sentence. If you catch it early, you can execute a tactical rescue plan with a little bit of plant surgery. First, gently unpot the plant and wash away as much of that soggy soil as possible under lukewarm water. Second, take sterilized scissors, they absolutely must be clean so you don't spread the infection, and aggressively trim away all the black, slimy, mushy roots. Keep cutting until literally only firm, healthy roots remain. Third, treat the roots. If you want to keep things organic and skip the harsh chemicals, you can soak them in a mix of 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts water. It naturally fizzes and bubbles as it destroys the bacteria. Fourth, prune back some of the foliage. And finally, step 5, repot the plant into fresh, well-draining soil.
So the crucial point is that fourth step, pruning the foliage. It's essential, even if it feels completely counterintuitive, to cut away healthy green leaves when your plant is already struggling. But here's the logic. You just surgically removed a massive portion of the plant's root system. The remaining tiny, healthy roots simply cannot absorb enough water and nutrients to support a full head of leaves. By trimming away about 33% of the foliage, starting with the older or already drooping leaves, you drastically reduce the stress on the plant. This allows it to focus its limited energy on regrowing its roots rather than just starving.
And a massive, massive warning here. Never, under any circumstances, reuse the old potting soil. That soggy, foul-smelling dirt is the active crime scene. It's absolutely teeming with Pythium and Phytophthora just waiting for their next meal. If you put your newly sanitized roots back into that dirt, the rot is going to return instantly. Throw that old soil away and make absolutely sure to thoroughly disinfect your pot before reusing it.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 6. Preventing future attacks.
Treating root rot is stressful, and honestly, it's messy. The far better approach is to make sure your plant pots are environments where these villains literally cannot survive. Here is your proactive gardening checklist for an impenetrable defense. Number 1. Use pots with drainage holes. If water can't escape, it will pool, and rot is just inevitable. Number 2. Amend your potting mix with chunky materials like perlite or bark to create permanent air pockets. Number 3. Maintain a balanced soil pH and ensure proper nutrients. A well-fed plant is just naturally more resistant to disease. Number 4. Consider adding helpful insects like springtails to your soil. They act as this amazing natural organic cleanup crew, eating decaying organic matter before harmful fungi even get a chance. And finally, abandon strict watering schedules. Plants drink differently depending on the season, the temperature, and the light. Check the moisture manually instead.
If you take away anything from this explainer, let it be this one fundamental truth. Air is just as critical to your plant's root system as water is. We spend so much time obsessing over our watering cans that we completely forget about the underground environment. By ensuring your soil is loose, chunky, and well-draining, you guarantee that oxygen is constantly flowing to the root zone, keeping your plant naturally immune to suffocating decay.
You now have the tools, the knowledge, and the timeline to crack this botanical case. The mystery of the wilting, yellowing plant isn't quite so mysterious anymore, is it? So take a look around your home right now. Think about those pots sitting in the dark corners, or the ones that feel suspiciously heavy when you lift them. Are you ready to put on your detective hat and investigate your own soil? Go check those drainage holes, test that moisture, and save your plants before the silent killers strike. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy, healthy planting.